We're continuing the news, but this time in Abuja, as Professor Mahmood Yakubu has handed over to May Agbamuche as the acting national chairman of INEC. Agbamuche-Mbu is the oldest serving national commissioner and assumed the leadership role during a meeting with the Resident Electoral Commissioners in Abuja, effective today, Tuesday. Now, earlier on, we're joined by political affairs analyst Charles Ideho. He joins me live here in the studio. Now, earlier we're talking about, the process of this transition, and you were saying that, he's supposed to be in office until October, and this is until November. I beg your pardon. Yes, and he's now been a two-term situation for him. But before the break, I wanted to talk about, the challenges that lie ahead for leadership. Now, we've seen the by-elections happen, but 2026 is around the corner, and that means we're going to see some governorship elections happening in Osun State, as well as, all Anambra. So tell me, what challenges do you foresee happening?
I do not actually envy May Agbamuche-Mbu at this point, because you got a lot of trouble right now on the desk of the INEC chairman, so to speak. Number one is that how is she going to navigate the troubled waters of INEC, vis-a-vis the call for electronic transmission of result, which of course has not happened. Then BVAS is not working. That was actually BVAS was a game changer, if you recall. What actually helped the APC to defeat the incumbent, which of course never happened in this history of this country. So there are a lot of the IREV issues and all that. And then we also have to tell him or to tell her, I met, or whoever is going to be taking over as the substantive chairman in the days to come, that we still do not have a situation where the electorate choose their leaders. Because once we go to the polls, we cast our votes, they count those votes, at the end of the day, we end up in court. It is the court that still determines who the winner is. I mean, that's not democracy.
Right.
Because when you say that the electorate has the right to choose who lead them, then allow the right to end at the police units and all that. After the votes have been collated and then sent to whatever, whether it's the local government or at the end of the day, we end up in Abuja and all that, those votes that the electorate have cast then should determine who their leaders are. Not the court now saying, this, of course, is the winner and this is not the winner. The whole thing, first of all, have to go to the tribunal to appeal or to Supreme Court. It has to do with governorship and then, of course, the presidency. So I'm thinking that as we look forward to a new stanza in the INEC leadership and all that, I personally will want a situation whereby the choice of our leader should not be in the hands of the judiciary anymore.
Now we know that she's at a crossroads and this new role means a lot for her, but her leadership, would it impact the electoral reforms that we're seeing? What's the outlook for the commissioners, for the commissioners' future plan, the commission's future plan, most importantly, as electoral reforms and appointments are on the fore as we head into one of the most deciding factor when it comes to our democracy, and that's 2027's general election? Well,
I think the reforms are on the cards right now. One of the houses also says that if they can tinker with the aspect of taking the power to appoint a chairman, an umpire. I mean, imagine, for instance, let's look at the EPL, the English Premier League. You have Arsenal playing against Liverpool, for instance. Liverpool is the defending champion, right? Liverpool wants to now contest for the EPL Cup. Then you're now asking Liverpool to appoint the referee. And then, okay, don't worry, the FA is going to ratify or going to... So there's no way that referee is going to work against the interest of Liverpool. That's the way I see it. Look at it. I'm just using that as an example. So for me, I think taking the power to appoint, either you, in whatever nomenclature, take it away from the president. Let it be a playing. I don't mind if you can, maybe, for instance, you come up with an electoral college comprising the civil society group and all of that, to come up with a chairman that will be a chairman for all, not a chairman that is appointed by an incumbent president that is going to be taking place in the contestation of the election and all that. For me, I think it's one of the areas they have to look at as they look towards the electoral reforms that all of us are looking towards. Yes.
I'm glad you're talking about electoral college as well, because I've always wondered why the North amasses so much number, if we're talking about population about mass, maybe then we should start looking at electoral college and points given to certain geopolitical zones to make it much more somewhat balanced. If that's the word.
Well, yeah, exactly. The balancing of it, although is a very critical aspect in our electoral reforms and local electoral journey. But again, another at the core of it is the insistence of some notable elements that real headcount must not take place. You remember the Odumegu, I can't remember his first name, Odumegu that time, who wanted actually a headcount. He said was going to do a headcount day where you know how many Nigerians are. Now we're just doing speculations. Oh, Nigeria is about 200 million, it's about 230. Nobody. I think last time we ever did a headcount was 2006. Yeah, 2006, exactly. And it's also disputed, which was why Lagos State had to do their independently to say, no, we are 20 million in Lagos, but against the figure that was always given to Lagos. So, for instance, if you want to say, okay, the issue of whether the North is more than the East, or more than the West, more than the South, let's do a proper head count. If you have a family in Kano, for instance, okay, yes, census. A family in Kano, for instance, you have a husband and about 4 wives and about 18 children and maybe perhaps 25 grandchildren. Let us go there and count them. Don't let somebody give you a list. Say this is who we are.
The late ex-president also wanted to do a census just at the end of his.
It's always the problem. They won't let anybody do it because of this issue of one aspect of the country. You always talk about it that they are more in number. You understand what I'm saying? So if we do a proper head count, then we'll be able to look at whether the votes coming from up north is greater than the votes coming from down south. Right.
And lastly, is this a Trojan horse? Do you think it's a Trojan horse for who will be the substantive chairman? She's acting.
Yes, for me, it's not about the individual. I think it's about the institution. Once you get in there, you are swallowed. You are swallowed by all the intricacies and all the vagaries. Okay, that have undone the commission for a long time. So, except you have a Dora Akunyili, for instance, who was the NAFDAC. Remember, if we have somebody like that in place that was going to say no to anything, I think we're going to be looking towards having indeed a chairman that is going to say no. Whatever is going to happen, if I die, I perish.
I must say thank you, Mr. Ideho, for joining us. Charles Ideho, there, political analyst, giving us a bit of insight following the terminal leave of the INEC chairman, Mahmood Yakubu, as he passes on the baton to acting chairman, and that's May Agbamuche-Mbu.